Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Daily with Doc, where we bring you natural solutions, cutting-edge research, and real-life stories of healing and hope. I'm your host, Becca Dukes. I'm a certified naturopathic practitioner, certified holistic health coach, and director of student services for the Institute of Holistic Health. I am so glad that you are here joining us today. This show isn't just a podcast, it's a growing resource for an amazing community of individuals who are passionate about taking charge of their health, sharing life-changing solutions. Together, we're spreading a message of empowerment, education, and healing one episode at a time. So if you were referred by somebody specific, we want to make sure that you get back with them. Say thank you. And if you have any questions, they're going to be your first person to ask in order for you to create a better health journey. It's Pharmacist Fridays, folks, and we are honored to welcome today's guest, the brilliant Pharmacist Ben Fuchs. He is a nationally recognized pharmacist, cosmetic chemist, nutritionist, and founder of Truth Treatments. He's been a leading voice in the natural health movement, helping people unlock the body's built-in innate power to support wellness through science-based nutrition and simple, effective strategies. Health is simple, folks, and he's going to share with us how simple it is. In this episode, it is going to be a question and answer. It's also going to be full of powerful insights to support you in gaining practical wisdom to support your journey to optimal health. To explore more, visit our website, dailywithdoc.com, as this program is being sponsored by dailywithdoc.com. And don't forget to follow us on your favorite social platform. If you're do a search, Daily with Doc and Becca, or Critical Health News. Make sure that you subscribe so you can stay connected. So let's go ahead and dive in. And Pharmacist Ben Fuchs, welcome to Daily with Doc, Pharmacist Fridays. I love it. We missed you last week. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. Good to see you. You look exceptionally beautiful.
Well,
radiant. Do we have a new do? We have a new do, don't we?
Growing.
Oh, is it growing?
It's growing. So it's like one of those things when you have curls like this,
yeah,
you just find it. You can't find it.
You have the most important thing going when it comes to hair. The most important biochemical going when it comes to hair. You know what it is?
No, what is it?
Estrogen. Estrogen gives you luscious locks, and male hormone gives you thin locks. And women and men both make estrogen and testosterone, even though they're kind of associated with either gender. Women make testosterone and men make estrogen. Women make more estrogen, hopefully, and men more testosterone, but we both make both. So you can tell whether somebody is estrogen dominant or predisposed to making more estrogen, or predisposed to estrogen health issues, which you have, by the way, or have had, by doing a phone consultation and asking somebody what their hair is like. I do it all the time. I ask people what their hair is like. Or I'll ask them what their body type is like. I'll be a little careful there with women sometimes, but it's important health information, or what their fingers are like. And for you ladies out there, when you're out on the dating market, not married ladies, but single ladies, check those guys' fingers if you know what I'm saying, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my. You're funny.
Hey, we're all adults here. I'm just saying. The point being that our hormones, which run everything, the hormones are really the main players in how the body shows up, what for better or worse. You can detect what kind of hormone profiles people have by their physiology, hair, body type, facial, angular type, fingers, toes, length of the hands, length of the feet, all of that kind of stuff, skin type, and you can do all this on the phone. And that can give you a nice clue. And by the way, I heard you saying that you're the student director, or the director of student. What did you say?
Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health.
This is what you want to be telling your students, because they could do a lot of stuff on the telephone just by asking these kinds of key questions. And if somebody reports, for example, with fibromyalgia, and you say, you ask them about their hair, and they say, oh, I have really thick hair, and I'm round and buxom, and I'm curvy. Bingo, you're dealing with somebody who's having problem processing estrogen right from the get-go. Or if somebody has acne, they're breaking out, and you ask them about their hair, their fingers, or their body type, you can assess what kind of acne you're dealing with. These are kind of rough approximations, and you want to probe a little bit, but these give you general ideas about what the kind of patient you're dealing with. And this is very important because, I imagine there's distributors on this call, and there's people doing the longevity business on this call. Remember, we're in the health business here. We're helping people with pretty much the most intimate aspect of their lives, which is their health. So it's really, really important that we get this right. And we interact with people when we interact with people, we treat them more than just customers. We're dealing with patients. We're dealing with people who are having health issues. And what's more, we're dealing with people who are counting on us and relying on us, because that's how we're positioning ourselves. So it behooves us to learn everything we can possibly learn about the body, about how you diagnose, how you assess, comorbidities. And that's one of the most important ideas, is this notion that illnesses happen in a constellation, in syndromes. There's no one health challenge. You texted me today about pterygium. I don't know if you want to go right into that now. We can go into it in a second. Pterygium are eye growths. Ptera actually means wing, like a pterodactyl. My favorite dinosaur. I don't know if you guys ever studied dinosaurs. I have a thing for dinosaurs. My favorite dinosaur is a pterodactyl, right? Can you imagine what pterodactyls must have been like? Luckily, there are no people out there, but if there were, can you imagine? Right? This massive dinosaur that flies. It's bad enough it's a dinosaur, but this thing flies, right? And it's huge. Remember the Flintstones? Remember Pterodactyl Airlines?
I do. And, whenever I see a hawk or something that just swoops down and grabs a mouse, right, or a snake, I have often thought, wow, if pterodactyls were alive today, we'd be what they would be swooping down.
Oh my God, they were dinosaurs that flew. They were, right? So anyway, Terra, like with the side growth you're talking about, pterygia or pterygium, is an eye growth that looks like a wing. That's why they call it a pterygium. It looks like a wing, and it's basically a growth. Whenever you have growths, you've got a problem with insulin and estrogen. Those are the two main growth factors. That's cysts and fibroids and boils and fibrosis. Any excess growth, you're going to be insulin and estrogen are the two hormones that are going to be implicated. Estrogen is a little tricky because there's different kinds of estrogen, but generally speaking, it's estrogen and insulin, which is kind of interesting, because if you go to the doctor for pterygium, they'll tell you which is what you texted me, which is what? That's caused by what?
Exposure to UV light.
Now think about the stupidity of somebody, not you, but of a medical professional saying something like that. So eyes have growths because of the UV light. Do you have any pterygium?
No.
AJ, you got a pterygia? Ruth Ellen, Marilyn, Albert? Well, it's caused by UV light, right? This is the idiocy. This is the stupidity. The eyes obviously interact with UV light. That's how they work, doctor. That's how they work. Oh, it's the UV light. Actually, no, I take it back. It's breathing. Your pterygium is caused by breathing. That's the same idiocy. No, the pterygium is not caused by UV light. Otherwise, we'd all have pterygia. The pterygium is caused by growth factors, by excess growth. The major growth factors are insulin and estrogen. Given the fact that most people have insulin resistance, pretty much, it wouldn't be far off to say everybody has insulin resistance after a certain period of time. That's what you want to focus on. If you say it's UV light, what are you going to do? Shut your eyes all day?
All day.
I mean, really, what kind of logic is that? But if you say it's insulin resistance, you get power. And that's really what this is about. When I talk about the digestive system, when I talk about the insulin or metabolic system, I'm talking about power. And that's really ultimately what our job is. We are empowerment specialists. We're here to empower people with their health. Because at the end of the day, the most disempowering idea in the world of health and medicine is that my mother had it, so I'm going to have it. It's in my genes. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm going to be on this medicine the rest of my life. I have to go to the doctor because only he can take care of me. There's all of these memes, these ideas in the world of healthcare that are almost intentionally designed. I don't want to go as far as say they are intentionally designed, but functionally, they're designed to suppress, to disempower us, to take our power away from us. My mission in life is to give you your power back. Dr. Wallach's mission in life was to give you your power back. That's what all longevity reps should be looking at, giving our patients their power back. That's why I explain things to you. That's why I always tell you how it works, because I want you to understand it. I said it before, I'll say it again. The job of a good healthcare professional, myself included, is to get out of the way, is to let you do it yourself. I want to work myself out of a job. I want you to be able to do it yourself so you can share with your kids and your husbands and wives and friends and loved ones and family members so they can do it themselves. Imagine a world where we all can help take care of our bodies all by ourselves. Well, that world is here as long as we cooperate with the biochemical force, which is the divine force. As long as we cooperate, as long as we operate with it, not against it, but with it. And that involves, most importantly, how we eat. And it's really, there's how we think and how we emote, our spiritual connection, the SMEP, of course, but how we eat has the most powerful and immediate impact on how our body will show up. And given the fact, number one, that our food supply is completely different than it was a mere 100 or 150 years ago in a human body that's millions of years old, and given the fact that we now eat for mental reasons in a way we didn't used to eat even a mere couple hundred years ago, let alone 10,000 or 100,000 years ago. We now eat when we're depressed. We eat when we're anxious. We eat when we're bored. We eat when we're happy. We eat when we're excited. We eat when in social situations. All of these have nothing to do with eating for need. And given the fact that these drives, which are built into us, are manipulated by corporate interests, nefarious corporate interests that could care less about us. Every time you see those golden arches, they should represent Satan. They should represent demonic forces. They should represent something that you want to run as far away from as you can get. And every time you enter into the golden arches, you're participating, you're complicit in allowing these demonic, these evil forces. And I don't want to get too, out there when I say demonic, but they're evil forces. And they know how our brains work way better than we do. And the clue to the awfulness of the situation, that is not only awfulness in terms of the corporate interests that are supplying us the food, but the government interests that cooperate with the corporate interests, is when you had to stand 20 feet apart from your friends or 6 feet apart from your friends, and you had to lock yourself in your house, and you had to inject yourself with concoctions that nobody understood what they were, but you could get all the Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and Taco Bell you wanted. That should have been the red flag for everybody. When Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell and all that crap was open, but you had to stay locked in your house, except for presumably the 10 minutes you could run to McDonald's and get your Big Mac. Then you had to go back into your house. You see what's going on here, people? Wake up. That's what has to happen. We have to recognize them as the enemy. The enemy. They're not our friends. They're the enemy. And as soon as we get this idea, and you don't want to freak out about it necessarily, but you know what? Keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer in the sense that you want to know what they're doing. You want to understand their sneaky techniques, and the drug companies and the food companies are all in bed together. The whole point here, people, is we don't need them. We can do this ourselves. We can do health ourselves. That's why my goal here when I do these shows and when I do my talks, and really my goal in life is to simplify the whole thing. We've come to believe that this is so confusing, I can't do it. Yes, you can, because there's only 2 points. Point number, and it's not even triangle anymore. We shrunk the triangle. We did away with that 3rd point, right? It's just I haven't come up with the term, the line, the plane. I'm not sure what I want to call it. Digestion, metabolism. That's it. Focus on what you're putting in your mouth and how your body is processing what you put in your mouth, period. That's it. And if you want to test it out yourself, fast. And if you're dealing with an autoimmune disease, or you're dealing with a skin problem, or you're dealing with a mental health issue, when you fast, you're going to feel better. Guaranteed. Now, you may get a little tired when you first start doing it. Okay, stay in bed. Just stay in, don't go to work. Relax. You'll be cleaning your body out. You'll be strengthening your body, and you're going to feel better. It's as simple as that. Now, when you eat again, obviously you have to eat again. You just pay very close attention to what you're putting in your mouth. Because really what we're talking about with food is we're talking about entering into the sacred space. You're talking about entering into not just the body, but into the life of the body, which is into the blood. And this gets us to the idea of first principles. First principles is a concept that says, what is the most basic idea I have to incorporate, or the basic logic, or the basic strategy or protocol I have to put into my techniques in order to achieve a goal. First principle is in health and wellness is all disease is cell disease, and all cell disease is the result of dirty blood. Dirty blood, first principle. There's no chronic disease without dirty blood. None. I'm talking about chronic Lyme disease. I'm talking about long COVID, as well as cancer and heart disease and diabetes and autoimmunity and all the other health challenges. Anything that's long or chronic, where the body does not recover, you can rest assured you've got dirty blood. How does the blood get dirty? Through injection, and people who are injecting things through their skin, whether it's things the doctor told them to inject or things that are illegal to inject, are going to deal with the same kind of health challenges that other people have who are putting things into their blood through the food. I am not a food guy. I don't care what anybody eats. It's nobody's business what people want to eat. Should eat what they want to eat, and nobody out there should ever tell people what to eat while they're eating it. Nobody wants to hear it. Somebody's eating French fries, you don't tell them about how bad French fries are while they're eating it. That is not going to go well. That ain't going to end well if you try to tell somebody what to eat while they're eating it, right? So you mind your own business. But if somebody has a chronic health challenge they want help with, they should know that that's a point of power. Not because we're Mr. Organic Guy, David Avocado Wolf. I always pick on him because that's such a caricature to me. He's a nice guy and he's a good guy, but that's not what this is. This is power. This represents where we have control over our bodies. And that's why food is so important. And then you say to yourself, then I hear this all the time. You guys probably have heard it too. What can I eat? Oh my God, what can I eat? Here's the answer. You eat as little as possible. As little as possible. Every morsel of food everything you put in your mouth requires homeostatic balances and adjustment. The body is purring along. The body machinery is purring along, and all of a sudden something enters into the system and it just throws it off. Now, luckily, the system can balance itself back down. That's called homeostasis, and that is a built-in mechanism in the system. But if we do it chronically, the body is constantly trying to homeostatically adjust. And if the stuff it's trying to adjust to is completely foreign, now you involve other systems in the body. So the less you eat, the longer you live. Simple as that. And a simple way to do it, an easy way to do it, is to check in with your stomach. Check in with your digestive system the next time you feel like you're hungry. And almost always you'll see that it's not here that we're hungry from. It's here. It's this area here. Lions don't eat for their brains. Giraffes don't eat for their brains. Wild animals don't eat for their brains. Only domesticated animals and humans eat because they're depressed or they're anxious or it tastes good. All of these are great, and that's fine if you're anxious and depressed and food helps you and you like the taste of certain things, but to the extent you do it is the extent you're going to pay the price with your health. It's really simple as that. So you focus on the blood. What does that mean? Digestion and metabolism. 2 points. First principle is focus on the blood. How do you focus on the blood? Obviously, you don't inject things to your skin if you don't have to. Other than that, you focus on the digestive system and the metabolic system. Everybody should be on the healthy blood sugar pack, no matter what their health challenge is. I know we got all these different packs. The healthy blood sugar pack is a foundation because all health challenges involve blood sugar, or what we say dysglycemia. Everybody should be on the digestion pack, the Daily Digest, the Nightly Essence, the Ultimate Enzymes, the I-26. When I say everybody, I mean everybody who's dealing with a health challenge, or even if not. It's just a good idea to be on all that stuff. And you don't have to be sick to benefit from these things. And we should all recognize this, that our supplements, longevity supplements, are important for healthy people, not just sick people. Even though sick people, obviously the need is greater for sick people than it is for healthy people. But healthy people need this too. So in the interest of simplifying, we go digestion, we go blood sugar, we clean the blood. If you can't, if you don't know what to do in terms of the digestive system, fast for a couple of days and get on all the important nutritional supplements. Then there's the ancillary ways, the non-nutritional ways that we can improve our health. One of the best non-nutritional ways that we can improve our health is water, hydration, liquefying the blood. The more liquid the blood is, the more facility it has, the easier it is for it to circulate. As it circulates, it's depositing its nutrients, it's detoxifying, it's oxygenating, and it's generating an electrical charge. And if all disease is cell disease, and all cell disease is preceded by dirty blood, fluidity of the blood helps clean it out. So fluidizing the blood with water, that's a non-nutritional way of improving health. Do not underestimate the power of the breath. Free, costs you nothing. For people out there who like to get high, smoke a little bit or drink or whatever it is they like to do, try some breathing. Watch what happens when you practice something called vivation. You can look it up. Vivation, check this out. All you do is you go like this. Fast breathing through the nose, in and out. You do it for 60 seconds. You won't believe how good you'll feel. You won't believe how elevated you'll feel, how clear you'll feel, just by 60 seconds of fast breathing. This is how beautiful the body is. Were you going to say something?
I did that as I was driving across the country.
Yeah.
From east to west.
Yeah.
When I started feeling like a little bit
like you want to sleep,
like I wanted to go to sleep, I just did that.
Yes.
And it's like, I feel better now.
Yes.
And
do it for a minute.
Until I got to a place where it was
do it
safe.
for 60 seconds or 120 seconds. It's amazing. It's
amazing.
Absolutely amazing. These are the beautiful things that we can do from the comfort of our own homes. Water, nutrition, and calorie restriction, and vivation breathing or pranayama breathing. There's all kinds of breathing techniques you could do. Make it a study, especially if you're out there and you have a child or a loved one or a mom or dad who's sick or not feeling well. These are all strategies we can employ from the comfort of our own living room. The doctor's there to stitch you up. God bless this doctor who stitches us up. When I broke my leg or, had my knee surgery, all I cared about was surgery. And all I could care about when I was done with my surgery was morphine. And there's times for that, absolutely. But for chronic degenerative disease, we want to get it through our heads that this is our business. And if you go to the doctor, you're going to get doctored. And that means you're going to get manipulated. And to doctor, as we said many times before, is to commit a fraud. If you go to the IRS and say, my taxes are doctored, you've committed a fraud. If you tell the judge that here's the evidence, it's doctored, you've committed a fraud. The doctor's committing a fraud because he's telling you that you're healthy because he gave you a pill to lower your blood pressure. That don't make you healthy. That's a fraud. That just means you poisoned your blood pressure system, so now it's dropped. Or you poisoned your heart, so now it's not pumping as hard. That's what it means to be doctored. So we can do this ourselves, people. And for you guys who are new out there, we're here to help you. All longevity reps are trained in the longevity supplements, and the ones who go on come to this show or this programs like this, which we do lots of, are not only trained in the supplements, but also trained in health and health challenges. And if you're out there and you're listening and you want to participate in it, sign up because we can teach you.
Yes, get back with the person and share this program with you. If there's no one to thank, give our team a call. 855-949-3377. Again, that's 855-949-3377. Now, we do have our hands up, but when you're talking about food.
Yeah.
I'm really missing my amazing partner who's a chef and does fantastic everything from scratch, no processed anything.
Right.
And it doesn't take very much to be satisfied.
It doesn't. It's very little. Your stomach, this is how big your stomach is.
Yeah.
3 or 4 bites. No matter how hungry you are, test this out yourself. Next time you're fast or you're really, really, really hungry, just sit down and eat and look at your food, have 1 or 2 bites and stop, and you'll notice you're not hungry anymore. That's all it really takes is a couple of bites.
But
And that's all we really
mostly
need. Mentally is different. Mentally
it's
is
like,
different.
oh, this is so good. And you don't want to stop.
That's different. And there's nothing wrong with that per se. But if you're dealing with high blood pressure, or cardiovascular disease, or cancer, or an immune problem, or autoimmune disease, this represents places where we can work without having to take poison or without having to have surgical, medical interventions or surgical procedures. This represents power for us.
Yes. Yes, it does. And folks, each and every one of you that is in the sound of my voice, if you hear me, you're an empowered individual. If you know somebody that doesn't think they are, share this program with you or with them because they're an empowered individual. And as we're helping ourselves, helping our families, together we're helping our communities all become empowered around the world. And you can find out more information about what we have found to be solutions and some of our favorite solutions in the comments if you're out on the different social platforms. So check out those comments. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel that you are listening or watching on. And Pharmacist Ben, we had talked a little bit about pterygium.
Pterygium. Yes. Where
what?
Yeah, well, let's talk about that a little bit. So where you see the problem, remember I said one of the first principles, a first principle is all diseases in the blood. All disease is cell disease, all cell disease begins with dirty blood. It's a first principle, which means you always go back to the digestive system, the blood sugar system. A second first principle is where you see the disease or where you see the pathology is not where the pathology begins. It's always upstream, with the exception of the digestive system, which is the first point. That's the basis of everything. So a pterygium is not an eye problem, which means if you go to the eye doctor, he can't help you. High blood pressure is not a blood pressure problem. If you go to go to the doctor to fix your high blood pressure, he can't help you except artificially suppress it. Acne is not a skin problem. It shows up on the skin, but it's not going to, you can't help it by treating the skin. So where you see the symptom of the disease is not where it begins. You have to go upstream. And, you know, we give the metaphor of the fruit that you love so much, AJ. It's a great metaphor. If the fruit is rotten, you're not going to fix the fruit. It's rotten. You got to go to the soil and you got to go to the root. Where you see the disease is not where the disease begins. But our medical model treats what it sees. And this is no fault of the doctor. I don't want anybody to ever blame their doctor. The doctors are good people for the most part. It's the model, which comes from the 16th century and the 15th century. It predates our understanding of the body. The medical model is an anachronism. It's ancient. It's time gone by. It's not relevant in our modern day and age, with the exception of surgeries. Our medical model, the medical model's approach to treating chronic degenerative disease is an abject failure because it's based on an old way of looking at the body. The new way of looking at the body is as systems, as interacting and interconnected and networked systems. Everything is put together. There's really no separation between the heart and the liver. There's no separation between the skin and the digestive system. There's no separation between the adrenal glands and the spleen, or the respiratory system and the bones. They're all connected. And so we want to look at the body like a forest, not like trees. The medical model cannot see the forest for the trees, and it tries to work on each individual tree when we're really talking about a forest, and you can't separate out one tree from the forest because they're all connected. That's why systems are important. The digestive system / immune system, because they're basically the same thing, And that alone should tell you right there why the digestive system is so important, because the digestive system and the immune system are linked, and the metabolic system, the blood sugar system, if you will. And the whole thing is manifested physiologically by the connective tissue system. And those four systems are three systems: digestion/immune, metabolic, and connective tissue. That's the focal point on everything. They're systems. You can't treat just the connective tissue. You can't treat just the joints. You can't treat just the bones. You can't treat just the blood vessels. You can't treat just the pancreas. You can't treat just the liver or just the gallbladder. You have to treat the entire system. That's why you focus on food, you focus on digestion, you focus on blood sugar. A pterygium, as I said, is nothing more than a cyst on the eye, than a boil on the eye, than a skin tag on the eye, than a fibroid on the eye. It's a growth on the eye. Whenever you have growths, you've got growth factors. IGF or insulin, the main growth factor is called insulin, or insulin-like growth factor, IGF they call it, and estrogen. And they're both interacting. Estrogen involves digestive health. Insulin involves metabolic health. Bingo. There's your first 2 points in the triangle of disease. Whoever that patient is, that patient on the call here?
No, but his coach is.
Put his coach on.
All right. Albert.
Albert.
Unload.
How you-
Unmute.
how you been?
Albert. So, how well do you know this gentleman with the pterygium?
Fairly well.
Okay. So, how old is this gentleman? 50, 60?
51.
51? 51?
Yep.
51. 51.
51.
Okay. Does this gentleman with the pterygium have a history of digestive problems that he knows of? Sometimes people don't know. Sometimes people don't even know what a digestive problem is. So you can't always go when they say no. Okay? That's
No.
where you focus.
No.
Do you have a history of blood
No.
sugar issues? Sometimes he'll say no because he doesn't know. That's what you want to focus on. You're not going to do anything about his pterygium. There ain't nothing you could do any more than you could fix a rotten fruit on a tree. You got to get to tomorrow's growth. Now, the thing about growths like pterygiums is sometimes they have to mechanically be removed. They're not going to just come off. So you're going to.
There was a question I was going to have here. Does he need? He's being pushed to have it removed.
Well, he might need it
because it's
removed. If it's a growth,
Okay.
he might need to have it removed, and that is true about growths. And growths, anything that grows on the body, it isn't going to go away by itself. So what you want to do is you might, and it's on the eye, obviously, but anybody who tells them it's UV light it's ludicrous. Just a little common sense will tell you it can't be UV light because the eyes are supposed to look at the light. That's what they do, you know? And not only that, but if it was UV light, we'd all have pterygia, right? So pterygia is part of a constellation of symptoms. Principle number one, first principle, it's in the blood. Second principle, where you see the issue is not where the issue begins. You go upstream and you go into the blood. The good news here is not only are you going to help him with his eyes, you're going to help him with his blood sugar, you're going to help him with his weight, you're going to help him with his heart, you're going to help reduce his risks of cancer, you're going to help him with any digestive distress he has, you're going to support his intestine, you're going to give him a whole bunch of answers that are going to not only improve his eye health, but improve his overall health and add years to his life. What is the doctor's going to do? What is the doctor's strategy? I'll take the pterygium out, but then what's going to happen? It's going to come back, or it'll show up on another part of the body. And that's what happens with growth. You know, I was kidding AJ a couple weeks ago. There's a guy who had, I'm trying to think of what it was called, hereditary amyloidosis, cardiomyopathy, something. I forgot it was. Amyloidosis is another classic example, okay? And they call it hereditary. It's not hereditary. Amyloidosis is a laying down of a protein called amyloid. Oh, no, it was a thyroid issue. Thyropoietin, I think it was, right? It was let me think of how they said hereditary thyropoietin amyloidosis cardiomyopathy, right? Hereditary.
Put it in the chart, Dan. I put it in the chart chat box.
Okay, it was hereditary thyropoietin. Am I right here? Amyloidosis cardiomyopathy. Is that it?
Transthyretin.
Transthyretin, right? Transthyretin. So transthyretin is a protein. It's a carrier, and it gets turned into fibers. The body's very economical. It will turn things into other things. So transerythropoietin, right? It was transerythropoietin. Was that what it was? Transerythropoietin is a carrier protein, carries thyroid hormone. think maybe vitamin D also, or maybe vitamin A. But it's a carrier protein, and it gets converted into fiber. And when that fiber goes into the heart, you get a heart muscle pathology, cardiomyopathy. Heart muscle pathology, cardiomyopathy. Now, heart muscle pathology is English, cardiomyopathy is doctor. They don't talk English, they talk doctor. That's fine. We can do it. Cardiomyopathy. Amyloidosis is the laying down of fiber in the heart, which disturbs the heart muscle. In other words, the heart muscle can't do what it needs to do because it's got hard fibers in it. Now, where else do you hear about amyloid? Anybody, does that protein sound familiar to you, amyloid?
The kidneys.
Kidneys for sure. Where else? The most common, the most famous place. They want to actually give you a vaccine for it. Nobody knows? The brain,
Liver.
Alzheimer's disease.
Mm-hmm.
Alzheimer's disease is the cause, according to your doctor, is amyloid plaques. That's not the cause. That's what they see, is amyloid plaques. And to this day, they want to give vaccines. They're looking to make a vaccine so you don't make amyloid plaques. That's amyloidosis. Amyloidosis is the laying down of amyloid plaques. Like Albert rightly said, it can happen in the kidneys. In this gentleman previously that we were talking about, it happens in the heart. It can happen in any soft tissue. Why does it happen? Is the body stupid? No, the body's not stupid. We're stupid. The body's not stupid. Why would the body put amyloid somewhere? It's a repair mechanism. It's the way the body is supporting damage in weak tissue. So when you have it in your brain is deteriorating. It's not the body's stupid and it's just laying down amyloid because it's a dumb body. They want us to think this. They want us to think the body is stupid. This creature, entity, force, whatever it is, that's been around for hundreds, tens of, or maybe hundreds of millions of years is stupid. It's not stupid, doctor. It's not a stupid body. It's laying down amyloid because there's a reason. It's laying down amyloid as a corrective measure, as a repair mechanism. So if it's laying down amyloid as a repair mechanism, what's the solution? Let's strengthen the tissue so you don't need a repair mechanism. So for cardiomyopathy, amyloidosis cardiomyopathy, let's strengthen the heart. Now, if you think about the way we eat and you think about our blood sugar, collective blood sugar, you can see why the heart would be damaged. Likewise with growths on the eye, pterygia on the eye, same idea. If you got growths on the eye, the body's growth system is out of whack. The growth system is insulin and estrogen, and all of it boils down to the first 2 points on the triangle of disease. You guys are going to get sick of me saying that because every one of these questions, I'm going to say the same darn thing. The digestive system and the blood sugar system. And there's with some, there's some specific things. Like for the eyes, you can use Occutive, and you can use Vision FX. And there's a comorbidity. Remember, comorbidities are important clues because comorbidities are like Bob Ross with the different lines on the painting. If he has one line, you can't really see what it is, but if he has two, you can start to see a picture, and three, a picture emerges. These are comorbidities. Comorbidities give you a picture of what's happening in the body, and no surprise, macular degeneration is comorbid with pterygia, right? And we know macular degeneration is comorbid with diabetes, with blood sugar issues. And we know blood sugar issues are comorbid with digestive issues. So once again, triangle of disease, use pigments, use Vision FX, use Occutive, Daily Digest, I-26, ask them about these things. And again, I know I said it before, but I want to say it again. Sometimes people don't know what a digestive issue is. So if you just say, do you have digestive problems? And they say no, that doesn't mean no. That can mean I don't know, right? And then later, sometimes they'll say, oh, I have heartburn, and they won't have linked heartburn to the digestive system. It's not their fault. It's not people's fault. They don't know. Or they'll say, doctor said my blood sugar is normal. What's wrong with that? There's no normal. You don't go by my doctor said my blood sugar is normal because what he meant was it falls within a reference range. But the reference range itself is a range. So where on the range you appear is going to have implications on how your body shows up. If it's high on the range, that means you're likely to have some problems that are tending towards full-blown problems. Not only that, but there's no normal. So we don't know what normal is. Reference ranges are based on statistics, where they take a bunch of people and they add them all together and they do whatever magic they do with the algorithms, and they add in their height and their weight and their age and their race and their gender, and they mix it all up, and whatever people do with statistics, I don't know, and they stir it up, and out comes a range. And that's basically what a range is. That doesn't tell me anything about me or you, right? So reference ranges mean nothing. Testing means nothing. What you want to do is go by your symptoms, by how you feel, how you look, what your biochemistry is. The reference ranges that are designed to assess normalcy or health, if you will, are meaningless.
Ben, with any reference, he also suffers from very bright light. His eyes at the moment cannot take any bright sunlight.
Yes, his eyes are very sensitive. That tells me whenever you have, there's some people who can't even go out in the sun. Their skin is so sensitive. The eyes are a type of skin, by the way. Remember you have 4 types of tissue, stuff. The body's made up of 4 types of stuff. You've got the muscle and you got the connective tissue. That's the bulk of the body. I call it the flesh robot. Okay. Then you've got the electrification tissue, the nervous tissue. And then you've got the covering tissue. That's called epithelial tissue. The skin is a classic example of epithelial tissue. So are the eyes. So basically what you're telling me is his epithelia is sensitized. When epithelia are sensitized, that means there's immune factors there's immune chemicals in the skin or in the eyes. Where do immune chemicals come from to get in the skin and the eyes?
The gut.
The only place. They have to come for the digestive system. So everything you're telling me, that tells me he has a digestive problem. This condition, by the way, which it sounds like he may be dealing with, it's a type of uveitis, is an immune disease. And it's associated with histamine and mast cell activation, which comes from the digestive system. In fact, there's a whole health challenge called MCAS, which you may have heard of. I think, Rebecca, you probably heard of it, mast cell activation syndrome. Mast cell activation syndrome is when your mast cells, which are immune cells, are so sensitive, they're exploding. They live in the intestine, by the way, and they're exploding and they're releasing chemicals. One of the ways the body deals with the enemy is by opening up blood vessels so that white blood cells can access the area. That's why redness always means immunity, an immune reaction. These immune chemicals are highly active and they irritate the nerves. And so once these things are secreted, you get neural irritation, lots of it. Mast cell activation syndrome patients can't even take a shower because when they take a shower, their skin will burn. They go out in the sun and they say they're allergic to the sun. Who could be allergic to the sun? You're not allergic to the sun. Your body is secreting these mast cell histamine, these histamine factors and molecules that are coming from mast cells. What are you going to do? You're going to hide from the sun, stay away from the sun? No, you work with the mast cells. Why are the mast cells activated? Hello, the intestine. I used to make a product called, in my pharmacy, I haven't done it for a while, called Chromalin. Chromalin is a mast cell inhibitor. It inhibits the release of chemicals from the mast cells. I was making this Chromalin gel for women who were suffering from a condition, a miserable condition, maybe some women out there have heard of this, called vulvodynia. Anybody hear of this condition, vulvodynia? Dynia means pain. Have you heard of this, Rebecca? Vulvodynia?
Have.
It is only God, you can only imagine the awfulness of this condition. Vulvodynia, vulva means the vulva, right? The female genitals. Dynia means pain. It's vaginal pain, vulva pain. And it's agonizing. And the prescription treatment was Chromalin, which was a mast cell inhibitor. But nobody thought, why are my mast cells activated? And it turns out that almost everybody who had vulvodynia had gluten intolerance. And if you have gluten intolerance, you got other health issues. Now, this was the 90s before people knew about gluten intolerance. Now we know. So you can see how where the issue is not where the issue shows up. It always involves toxicity in the blood. It always involves activated immunity. Next first principle, in addition to everything is in the blood and where you see the health challenge is not where the health challenge is. all health challenges that are chronic are inflammatory / immune or immune / inflammatory. So first principle is always in the blood. Second first principle, where you see it, is not where it begins. Third first principle is all chronic health challenges are immune / inflammatory or inflammatory / immune, either any way you look at it. Okay.
All right.
All right.
You're a
Yes.
champion, Ben. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Albert. And we have more questions.
Yes.
So one of the things that I want to mention and go real quick. So you had mentioned the amyloids. Now, Julio's saying, first of all, he says, wow, he's good. Thank you for having awakened people. We need them. We need you, Ben. All of us. He's saying when glial cells are destroyed.
When glial cells?
Glial?
Oh, glial cells. Glial in the brain? G-L-I-N? Yeah, glial cells.
Yep.
Okay.
Are destroyed.
Okay.
Then it accumulates amyloids. And for his mom, the flu shot caused.
Could very well be. I don't know the answer to that, but the first, I can't speak to the second part, but the first part is exactly it. The glia or glial cells are kind of like the brain's version of connective tissue cells. They are supporting cells. The connective tissue is the matrix. It supports all the other cells. The glial cells are the brain's version of that. And as it turns out, glia or neuroglia, as they say, and neuroglia degeneration is associated with a lot of health problems, including amyloidosis. So yes, when the glial cells deteriorate, the body will lay down amyloid in the brain, not because the body's stupid, but as a way of protecting the area. And that can interfere with brain chemistry, and that's where dementias can come from. Which is then where the term amyloid plaques come from. They call them amyloid plaques. And drug companies are looking for, you notice that there's no medicine for Alzheimer's disease. You can't medicate degeneration. Does that make sense? There's no medicine that can repair degeneration. That's not what medicine does. Medicine suppresses things. Yes. All right. Thank you so much for that. Let's go to Jill. Jill, can you unmute, please?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hi, Ben.
Hello,
I
Jill.
have two kind of difficult people I'm dealing with. We'll see if I get to the second one. But the first one, she has, she's 55. She has no gallbladder. She takes Prilosec, 40 mgs twice a day. She also takes cholesterol. Cholestyramine. Yeah. And she says that when she had her gallbladder removed, she was part of 7% of people that do not adjust well and had constant diarrhea.
It's much more than 7%. When the gallbladder is removed, you get a little trickle of bile. The gallbladder is only supposed to release bile when you have food. But when your gallbladder is removed, you get a constant trickle of bile into the intestine, which burns the intestine. The way the body handles that burning is by flushing it out with water, hence diarrhea. So it's not uncommon. It's much more common than 7% of people who have diarrhea. So it's very, very common. The reason she had her gallbladder out in the first place, presumably, is because she had cholesterol problems. The main reason for cholesterol problems is blood sugar. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know for sure about the cholesterol problem. She did not mention that to me.
Cholestyramine is a resin that cholesterol sticks to. They give you cholestyramine. That was before statin drugs. That's how they used to lower your cholesterol, was with cholestyramine.
I see.
Cholestyramine is a sticky substance. Cholesterol sticks to it. One of the ways the body gets rid of cholesterol is through bile. But she doesn't have that anymore because she doesn't have a gallbladder. So she's not going to get rid of her cholesterol through bile, so cholesterol could build up. Thus, they're giving her cholestyramine. It's like The Cat in the Hat Comes Back. Did you ever read the book The Cat in the Hat Comes Back? Remember Little Cat A and Little Cat B, and there's a red spot, so they brought Little Cat B, and that made a bigger red spot, so they had to bring Little Cat C, and that made a bigger red spot.
Yeah, she's got a lot more. She's got a lot more of that going on. I hear you.
I know.
I know. But wait till you hear the rest of it.
Okay.
So she has lupus. She has RA. She has HIDR.
Is she on the call, Jill? Is this lady on the call?
No.
Okay, so I don't want to hear any more bad news. I don't need to know. All right, let me tell you something. You can help this lady today. You can change her life today, because a fifth first principle, I know we got all these first principles here, but a fifth first principle is the sicker you are, the faster you can turn it around. You can be a hero, Jill, if she's willing to. That's probably a seventh first principle, is you got to be willing.
Yeah. And she may or may not be, because
She
she's
may or may
afraid
not
of,
be.
she's afraid. I'm trying to talk to her about her digestive system and about the need for the ultimate enzymes and about the 90, and she's afraid, to go off of this medication.
I've long ago stopped wondering why people do things that they do or don't do things that they should do.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm right, because she's
it's a
saying,
digestive issue. Rheumatoid arthritis and lupus are both autoimmune diseases. Everything you're saying is screaming digestive system.
yeah.
And in the interest of just edification, so you can kind of know what's going on here. Autoimmune, I know I've said it before. I'll just
so you know, I do not have a gallbladder, and I am recovered from lupus and RA.
Okay, good.
So I've walked to an extent what she has, but she's like so far on the extreme of what I had, because she's had COVID 5 times. She's currently has had scabies since April.
How
So she
old
has
is
no
this lady?
immune system.
How old
She's
is this lady?
55. She's
Okay,
55.
so this doesn't sound like a lady who wants to do anything, but that being said, let's talk about it, because there's other people who could benefit from what I'm saying here. Okay, and keep in mind, she could be helped today. She could be a new woman tomorrow. She's going to be a little bit compromised in the sense that she doesn't have a gallbladder, and that's going to compromise her, but she can do a lot. Rheumatoid arthritis and lupus are both autoimmune diseases. Autoimmunity, according to the medical model, is unknown. It is caused by unknown factors. It's idiopathic. That's a fancy way of saying we don't know. So they say autoimmunity is idiopathic. I'm going to tell you right now what causes autoimmunity, whether it's MS or whether it's lupus or whether it's RA or whether it's type 1 diabetes or whether it's Graves' disease or whether it's Hashimoto's thyroiditis, whatever. I'm going to tell you exactly what causes it. And you can take this to your doctor and have your doctor try to deny this. And one thing, by the way, everything I'm talking about here, nobody could deny any of this. None of these are assertions, and this is one of the reasons why I like to tell you the entire mechanism. Because we understand the mechanism, you'll see what happens. You can't say this is not true. No doctor can come on. I don't care if you have a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, medicine guy. He can't come in and say this is wrong. You eat a food. If you have this condition called leaky gut, which is what it all boils down to, leaky gut or intestinal permeability, toxins enter into the bloodstream. These toxins get surrounded with immune complexes, because remember, the blood is the sacred space and you can't have toxins in the blood. So the body will protect itself by surrounding those toxins with immune cells, immune complexes, and pus, if you will. You can think of it like pus. Those immune complexes are technically called circulating immune complexes, or CICs, which they will actually measure to see if you have RA or to see if you have lupus. They'll actually measure it. What are your CICs? Those CICs, circulating immune complexes, get dumped off in the various tissues. This is how the body cleans itself. That's how the blood cleans itself. It cleans itself by dumping them out, particularly in the joints and also in the soft tissues, in the skin, in the kidneys, in the thyroid, in the nerve cells, and just dumps it out. Because as bad as toxins are in the thyroid or in the connective tissue, they're way worse in the blood. So the body's just cleaning itself out. That's what's happening here. She's got dirty blood. The body's cleaning itself out. The dirty blood is secondary to digestive problems. Obviously, she has a digestive problem because she got her gallbladder taken out. The obviousness is screaming. And everybody on this call who understands what I talk about is smarter than the doctor who took out her gallbladder or who's giving her the steroid drugs. Everybody on this call, every layperson, every housewife, every plumber, every mechanic, every non-medical person on this call, if you understand what I just said, you know more than her doctor, who has no clue about what I just said. Otherwise, he could fix her herself. How many times has this lady, by the way, the scared lady who's scared to go off her drugs, how many times has she been to the doctor, do you think? 10 times?
Oh my gosh, no, more than that.
And how many times has the doctor helped her? Oh, I
Yeah,
can't help you, but you got to come back every 6 months.
it's just a big cycle. I mean, she wants help, but
she's going to the doctor to get it.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
if you have, I know I said it before, but hopefully we have new people who aren't going to be bored by what I say here.
I do think she wants help. I think she's
Well,
afraid to go off that medication. So that's why I was asking
not-
you, and you
you know,
confirmed what I thought was the right path.
You're right on, Jill. You've been on these calls enough. You know exactly the story. You know exactly what's cooking here. But we don't help anybody who doesn't want to be helped.
No, I understand.
Help.
All right, and here's my other one, and it's kind of
Did I make sense? Did everything I said make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, get her to fast. If she really, really, really serious, tell her to stop eating for a day or two.
Yeah,
she'll feel better. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
So now this is a male, and I can't remember how old he is. I'll figure it out. But he came to me for joint pain, but then as we were talking, I found out he has other things. He has a pineal cyst. He has eye problems, and he takes a blue blocker, CHOLESTERMINE
That's
daily.
the same thing she's taken. Cholestyramine, right?
Okay. Well, no. Yeah, you're right. I didn't see that. You're absolutely right.
She's taken.
You're absolutely right. And he says he cannot get off of it because he's been diagnosed with bile acid diarrhea, and he had it
She's
so
got the same
bad.
problem she has. That's what she was saying, isn't it?
No.
Yes, it is. That's exactly what you told me she was suffering from.
Wow. How about that?
How about that? Because it's all the same. It's always the same. Same stuff, different day. Except it's not.
So he does have cholesterol problem. I mean, he does have
she does
cholesterol
too.
problems.
She does too.
Yeah.
She's on cholestyramine. Without a,
Yeah.
does he have a gallbladder? What did you say about?
Trying to remember.
The first thing you said, he had gallbladder disease, I think.
He does not have a gallbladder. I didn't
He
tell
doesn't
you
have
that,
a
but he
gallbladder
does.
either. All right.
He doesn't either. I tried to talk to him about the same thing, going after his digestive system and going on the 90.
Same thing.
And he's afraid for the same reason. So
Same thing. Same
okay.
thing. Same thing. And I understand why you're afraid, why people are afraid, because they don't know.
Would you take them off? Would you take them off, like taper it down?
I wouldn't take anybody off anything ever. I never would ever take anybody off. If somebody's working with it, and this is also very important. We've just spent the last hour.
I worded it wrong. Sorry.
Yes, but this is important though, Jill. We just spent the last hour ripping on the medical model, talking about how stupid it was to try to medicate somebody and remove their organs when they've got underlying metabolic and digestive health issues that are easy to correct. That being said, when somebody is interacting with a doctor, they have a contract with that doctor, a de facto contract. It's not a real contract. Nobody signed anything, but it's a de facto contract. That means it's in essence a contract, even though there's no real contract. I would not want anybody interfering with my protocol if I'm helping a patient, and that doctor will be rightly furious if somebody came in and interfered with his protocol, as idiotic as it may be that we think it is, and as unhelpful as it may be.
Well, then how do we help them?
You don't help them.
You're saying they go back and say, I want to get off my blue blocker and take ultimate enzymes and probiotics?
This is how you help them. That's a good question. This is how you help them. They have to want you to help them. They have to want it, and they have to go back to their doctor. You don't have to listen to your doctor. Nobody has to listen to their doctor. You have to tell your doctor what you're doing, because he's trying to put you back together again in his own misguided way, and he needs to know everything you're doing. So she should tell him, Doc, I want to go this route. But to have one foot in the world of medicine and another foot in the world of longevity and not tell the doctor what you're doing is not right, not fair. And I never say to people that they should just come off their meds.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but I actually think in both of these people's cases, that medicine and that diagnosis is so far back, I doubt they even really are closely following that doctor that put them on it. It's more, that's what they think that they need.
That's their business.
Yeah.
That's their business.
And so I'm saying, after being on a medication like that for so long, if they would make the choice
they'd have to make some corrections. They couldn't just, stop. They'd have to make a few corrections, starting with food. But yes, they could get off all that stuff. Now, it's a little trickier without an organ, because now you're not a full body. Now you've disturbed the system permanently. So it's a little trickier, but it can still be done. If you have all your organs, you could do it within a couple of days, 3 days, depending on how far down the rabbit hole you are. You can do it very quickly. Without a gallbladder, it's a little bit trickier. And so you've got to do a few things. Folks, if you have your gallbladder, keep it. Don't let them take your gallbladder. It's a very, 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 very important structure in your body. Very. Same with your breasts and same with for women and same with your female reproductive system. There ain't no hormones that they can give you that are going to replace the hormones that you're making in your ovaries and your uterus and your breasts. So if they're telling you we'll just take out your female organs and put you on hormones, you're playing with fire. It's not the same thing. Likewise, your thyroid. And a lot of those are taken out too. All right, you guys. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for great questions, great insight. And you look at it, Ben, it's like, it just makes sense.
Makes sense. It should make
sense. Yes. So I know next time, Ben, let's talk about all of your first principles. Okay.
I make them up as I go along. No.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to get this documented because we've got people wanting to know what were all those first principles. Okay. So we're definitely going to do that. I know we're at the top of the hour. We had more questions. So next week, let's do more questions and continue on this conversation, helping people
Recording stopped.
They need.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. So that people can help themselves. Thank you so much, folks. Let's give it up for Pharmacist Ben Fuchs. And if I could get the co-hosts up on the screen, we could not do this without them, as they each have an instrumental part, just like the body. You got all these different parts, but they're all connected. They all work together, and that's what we do as a team. And folks, if you would like to be part of a team that works together to help make a huge impact around the world, definitely give us a call or get back with a person and share this program with you. 855-949-3377. Pharmacist Ben, I know you have to get going.
I got to go, but I want to shout out to Coach Rod. You're losing some weight there, buddy. Looking good, man. Looking lean and mean. The Broncos are looking for you. You might want to start up again there, Rod. Good to see everybody. Bye.
Awesome.
Bye, AJ. Give me a call, AJ. Bye, Phyllis. Bye, Marilyn, Albert, Ruth Ellen.
Awesome. Bye, Pharmacist Ben. And folks, you know, it is amazing when you're able to connect with individuals like Pharmacist Ben and get the knowledge that they are freely giving to help you. He comes on this show. He doesn't charge us to be part of our mentorship. He does it from the deep depths of his heart, as we all do. We are here to help make sure people are getting information that they may not be hearing somewhere else. So please share this program with somebody you know and love. If you're on social media, share it to your channel. Share it with all of your friends. Go to Critical Health, or you can go to YouTube. That's a simple one. Go to YouTube. Find the channel Critical Health News, and then share this episode with somebody you know. Share it with your whole social media family and friends, and even publicly. There's so many people that are looking for the information that we share in this program. You do your part and help them find it. I just want to do a shout out to my co-hosts, as this first person, if it wasn't for the work of her and her husband, I would not have found Dr. Wallach. And she and Andy were part of the team that got Dr. Wallach syndicated on radio stations, talk show, all across the country. Phyllis, thank you so much for all you do. And thank you for being part of our Zoom team as well. We greatly appreciate you. She's also putting information into the chat. So if you're here live with us, which you can be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, 1 to 2 Mountain, 2 to 3 Central, 3 to 4 Eastern, and 9 to 10 in South African time. I know I missed a letter, but we are here for you. So join us by going to zoom.dailywithdoc.com. Again, that's Zoom, ZOOM.dailywithdoc.com to join us live. So thank you, Phyllis. And next we have my executive production manager, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, who is helping to get the program out on to the different platforms, putting the graphics with the video and making it or making sure that it continues to stream. So thank you so much, Ruth Ellen, for all that you do. We have Coach Rod, who is also part of the team. He's out on the different social media platforms, watching for people's comments and questions and replying to them and keeping that communication rolling. Thank you so much, Rod. We have Marilyn, who, folks, she is dedicated Monday through Friday, when we used to be Monday through Friday, but Wednesday through Friday, always here, always putting valuable information, doing the transcription into the chat, so that if you're taking notes and you miss something, she doesn't miss a thing, and she has it there for you to go back and refer to in the chat. And that is only available if you're here live with us. So thank you so much, Marilyn, for all you do. We have Albert down in South Africa joining us. And folks, if you're giving us a call in the middle of the night, United States, he's the man that's going to pick up. So as we are going through making sure that we are providing phone support around the clock at 855-949-3377 for those who are not working with somebody already. Now, if you're working with somebody and you're already on a program or protocol through the longevity, they're your person. You need to stick with them. If you've got questions, ask them questions. If they don't have the answers, then they can help you find the answers. But if you're not working with somebody and you're not already on a protocol, give us a call at 855-949-3377. Individuals plus some are part of that phone team. So you'll be getting one of our friendly faces as certified holistic health coaches when you call 855-949-3377. And last but definitely not least is our digital marketing, social media manager, director. He wears so many different hats. I don't even know what to call him anymore. And that is AJ, as he's been very instrumental in not only getting us out on all these different platforms, keeping me organized on these platforms, and reaching out, staying on top of technology so that we can reach more and more people around the world. Thank you so much, AJ, for all you do. Folks, my name is Becca Dukes, again, as a Director of Student Services, the host of this program, a certified holistic health coach myself, and also a certified naturopathic practitioner. You are empowered as an individual to make a decision to educate yourself and be more empowered for yourself, your family, and your community. Get more information about our certified holistic health coach course by going to coach, COACH dot, that's a period, dailywithdoc.com. Again, coach.dailywithdoc.com. Until next time, have a fantastic weekend. Bye for now. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca, This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.